Wilmot Creek is fabulous.
Good.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah, I'm sure
it is.
Isn't that right, Steve, Linda?
Yes, it is. Definitely.
Absolutely. Best move we ever
Hey,
made.
Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's our little secret.
Yeah.
We see you, Mandy.
Hi.
Hey, Mandy, hello.
Hey,
Hi,
Doug and
Christine.
Joe. How are you?
So where did everybody go this week?
Nowhere.
I went to the superstore. Woohoo!
Ooh.
And I enjoyed it too, I can tell.
It's a change from Metro.
It's huge though. I mean, it's a massive place to get around.
Yeah, good job I had the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Metro has Marge.
Pardon?
Metro has Marge.
That's
Isn't that
Marge.
right, Steve?
Yes, Marge Huckster.
Hmm.
The smile and the joke on your way in most days. It's two-cart Tuesday after this meeting, so I've got to go down there again to shop for both sets of parents. And Phil, welcome Phil and Leah.
Good morning.
Mr. Burns.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Excellent.
How's everybody today?
Oh, just great.
Good.
That's not what you said 5 minutes ago.
A lot can happen in 5 minutes.
You're not kidding.
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
All right. Is that Sully or is it Bonnie on the phone?
(826) 1959.
Usually one of them.
Hi, Amanda. Haven't seen you in
Hi.
a while. How are you?
That's very, I'm sleepy, but I'm good. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Do you guys need a warm place to stay? Good morning. Hi. What? Do you need a warm place to sit while you're waiting?
Well, that might be Lisa.
7:31.
Okay. Give it one more minute and then we'll jump in.
I'm just gonna refresh my coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay, and here comes Christine back again.
Like a good idea. I'm gonna go get a tea.
She's out trying to find her audio somewhere.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, Christine, is the audio working again? Well, it had been working well earlier.
I know mine stops working sometimes if I've got the video on, just because of Little Britain. I don't know where she is, but maybe trying to do both.
It could be it. There's only so much bandwidth.
Good morning, Renee. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Ollie.
Okay. Let me, I'm just going to send Christine a chat and see if she can hear us, although she'd answer us if she could hear us.
Maybe she wants to do a phone.
There's Mike Desroche. Nice to see you.
Good morning.
Hey.
Oh, there you are. Can you hear us okay, Christine?
Think so.
Good morning, Christine.
Ooh.
No, we still can't hear you, Christine, unless you can hear us. Okay, but she can hear us, so that's good.
Mute.
I often have to log right off and right back on again when that happens. It's a pain in the butt.
She's done that.
Yep. Yep. Looks like she's giving it one more try here.
Yeah, I mean like shut down my entire computer, not just log off.
I used to have a computer like that once. I hope Christine, is she our speaker?
She is.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, she is.
Oh.
Maybe she could just talk to us on the phone or something.
Does she know sign language?
Yeah.
We would have to know it though, too.
Wow, who doesn't, Joe? Come on. I saw a good meme that when you have when you're in a Zoom meeting, you put your favorite beverage in the cup, and then you blow on it first to make it look like it's hot tea.
Right.
When in fact it's scotch or whatever it is you might want.
Yeah.
At this
Yeah,
hour
well-
of the morning?
Can you put a martini in a mug, King?
Sure,
Why
you
not?
can. You can put
Why not?
anything in a mug.
Exactly.
And is
That's
there
a really
term?
big martini.
Is there a term for that?
Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear
Yes,
you.
we
Yeah.
can.
There we are. There we
All
go.
right.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Well,
We can see you too.
With that, we'll bring things to order.
Wonderful.
Welcome, everyone. It's good to see some familiar faces that we haven't seen in a while.
Steve Code, welcome back.
Welcome back to the meeting. It's February 9th. Here we go. We'll start things off with a toast. We'll do our welcome of our guest just a little bit later. We'll have Lyle do that. So first off, to Her Majesty, to the Queen,
Queen.
To the Queen. Queen.
Canada,
Canada.
Canada.
and
Rotary
Rotary
International.
International.
Rotary.
Rotary International.
Okay, and over to, do we have Doug Sears on the line?
He's there.
Yes, I'm here.
I
There you are.
see him.
Good.
Morning,
All
everyone.
right.
Can you hear me?
And we can hear you just fine, Doug.
Okay. It was interesting searching for the invocation. There's a lot of really good invocations out there. Very interesting. Anyways, it is good to recognize how different we are. Our talents, our dreams, our backgrounds, our occupations. And it's good to know that when you created each of us, you broke the mold. No one is exactly like anyone else. Even our thumbprint and our voice track tells us how unique we are. Yet we thank you that we can take these differences and mobilize them for the good of Rotary and our community. In our differences, we can think the same thoughts and move together towards a common goal. Bless us as we meet together. Thank you for our individuality and also for our common bond. Amen.
Thank you, Doug.
Good
Thank you.
stuff.
Okay, Secretary Pauline, do we have any birthdays, anniversaries, etc. this week?
Yes, President Steve, we have a birthday to celebrate. Lovely lady is right on the line. Renee is having a birthday next Monday. Happy birthday.
Right, thank you.
Happy
birthday,
Renee.
Thank you. I'm not counting the numbers anymore. I turn them around.
That's so
Okay,
bad.
the numbers don't matter. The numbers. Okay,
Newest member, I'm not sure if Liana's on the call, but Liana is having a wedding anniversary on Valentine's Day.
Ooh,
So,
indeed.
congratulations,
there we
Liana.
go. All right. Well, with that, happy anniversary to Leanna and happy birthday to Renee.
Thank you.
Lyle, could you introduce our guest for us, please?
It'd be a pleasure. I'm introducing Christine Libby this morning. And Christine is a Red Seal plumber. And she's also the manager of the new Black & MacDonald Training Center that's located in the old Target store here in Bowmanville. And some of you may have noticed that the big red balls out in front of the Target store have changed color in the recent past. Christine's been with Black & MacDonald for 8 years. And prior to opening of the training center, she was a pipe fitter general manager, a health and safety trainer, and a training designer and developer for Black & MacDonald. And as you can well imagine, working in a nuclear power station is quite a bit different than working in most other places, particularly when you're working during a routine shutdown or during the retubing that's currently underway. And this requires that Black & Mac's skilled tradespersons have some additional training in a number of areas of general safety and particular radiation safety. Christine's going to provide us with a sneak peek into what goes on inside the new Black & MacDonald Training Center this morning. So please join me in giving a warm Rotary welcome to Christine Libby.
Welcome.
So thanks for inviting me, everyone. And if you guys are ready, I did put together some pictures and stuff. So I'm going to try and share my screen, and hopefully everything goes well technologically. I haven't done it from this end before, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
I am just enabling that now. Sorry about that.
Okay, no worries.
You should be good to go now.
Okay. So I'll just go through. So you guys can see, let me see it.
Yeah, we've got it.
Okay, so you can all see it? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is our Bowmanville Nuclear Training Center. So I'm just going to go through quickly the company, Black & MacDonald, if you guys aren't familiar with the company. So the company was started in 1921 by William Black and William MacDonald, and they started as a little electrical wiring contractor in Toronto. So since 1921, we've built up to more than 5,000 employees. We have 30 offices all over North America, and we're multi-trade, so we do all kinds of different work. It's still a company that's family owned. So right now our two CEOs, can you guys see the mouse?
Yes.
Okay, so the two CEOs are here. They're brothers, they're grandsons of W.J. MacDonald, and their other brother Ross is also a senior vice president. So it's still in the family. Our philosophy is to do things right and deliver lasting values. So this plaque that's here is just all of our philosophies that we still follow. So this was W.J.'s intentions when he started the company, and these are still things that we follow today. So our region is power generation region. So this is for Ontario Power Generation and Bruce Power. We have two sites for OPG, which is Darlington and Pickering, and then Bruce Power. But I'm just going to go into the Darlington and Pickering stuff today. Our training center in Bowmanville serves Darlington and Pickering both. We're located to 2377 Highway number 2, and that's in the old Target store. So you can see behind me how everything is still red on the inside. That's from the Target. Eventually, that's all going to go green. So this is just an overview of the kind of work that we do. So turbine generator, disassembly, reassembly, heat exchanger openings, lots of inspections. You see that Pickering's work is more based around inspections and fixing things as we go to close out the plant. It's approaching end of life. But for Darlington, we're doing the refurb. We're replacing a lot of copper pipe with stainless steel stuff, steam generator, emergency cooling, tank liner replacements, all that kind of. So it's a lot of really intense, really large scale industrial work that we do. So I got a couple of pictures here. So this would be the turbine in Unit 3. So this is the kind of work that we do. You can see the scale size of it by seeing how big the stairs are. It's a huge piece of equipment. There it is opened up. So when we do outages and we have to do work and replace parts and clean things on the turbine, those covers all come off, and that's what the turbine looks like on the inside. Hey, there's another page. So this is the Unit 4 one. All the units are color coded. So if you see purple, it's Unit 4, or green is Unit 3. This is a picture of the calandria. So these are all the fuel bundles. So this is inside the actual vault. A lot of the work that we have to do is both on the conventional side and on the radiological side. And there's a picture of the turbine spindle actually being replaced. So they've removed it all the way from where it sits in the housing, pulled the top up, and you can see by how small the people are below how big it is actually. Okay, so by the numbers, our office is located at 81 Osborne Road over in Curtis, and we have about 70 people that work out of there that serve both sites. So that's payroll and project managers and all that kind of stuff. And then our trades and project staff on site at Darlington, currently we have 524 people that we've hired recently, and Pickering has 191 people working on site. Why do we need a training center? So the way that OPG sort of services their parts is they run what's called an outage. So it's similar to a shutdown, and they don't have the staff to do all of the maintenance activities. They need to be able to, in 63 days, we have to do a large amount of work. So what they do is they contract it out to vendors like Black & MacDonald or ES Fox or Acon to do the work, because we use union labor, we're able to bring in a transient workforce, so we can ramp up very quickly. Bring in 500 people, have them work for 3 months, and then we're able to sort of transition back down to a lower number of people, which is pretty common with union labor. That's usually the way that it works out in the industrial commercial sector. You kind of come in when the work is there for construction, and then off to another job. So it's not out of the ordinary for us. So with our transient workforce, we normally would onboard through the Darlington Energy Complex, which is it's on Energy Drive, sort of the corner of Osborne Road over there, the OPG building. But due to COVID, their room capacities have gone down from 24 students to 12 or 11 students. So in order for us to bring in the 350 people that we needed for the outage, we would have to only be able to onboard, 12 people a week. So for starting our outage in February, we would have had to start bringing people in August last year, 11 people per week, and carried them all the way through with no work to do until the outage started. So that's the reason why we decided to open the training center. With a 100,000 square foot building. We're able to space people out and build classrooms that, we can still hold 24 people, but we have, in a 50 by 50 classroom, there's lots of room for everybody there. So that was one of the things that sort of prompted us to open the training center. And obviously opportunities for improvement. Normally our training is delivered by OPG staff, so OPG trainers and power worker union people. So we started to kind of look at, well, it's better to, we wanted to have more peer-to-peer teaching. So my team, my trainers, people from internal, pipe fitters teaching pipe fitters, boilermakers teaching boilermakers, rather than coming from somebody outside of the trade. We felt that it was an opportunity for us to bring training into our own house. So talking a little bit about our trainees when they come to the training center. So these are the types of trades that we have working for us, that we hire, that all of our work gets done by. We hire journeymen, there's apprentices, we hire supervisors, there's project coordinators, outage coordinators. We hire some subcontractors. So for like specialty inspections, welding inspections, things like that. And our trainees, when they come in, depending on their experience and whether they've been at the company or worked at OPG before, maybe for another contractor, they can spend anywhere from 2 days to 3 weeks at the training center. So in the classrooms, we have a number of different hands-on and classroom training that we do, including radiation protection. We do hoisting and rigging. We teach the Ontario regulation working at heights. We teach about elevated work platforms. We have a fire extinguisher simulator that we do here in the building. We deliver emergency first aid, and then specialty OPG things like correct component verification and foreign material exclusion, and confined space attendance and things like that. The other half of the training that the trainees get here is computer-based training. So we have about 300 tablets that they actually do. They log onto OPG system and do all of the computer-based training there. And this includes things like their work protection, lockout, tagout, compressed gases, confined space entry worker, hydrogen awareness, respiratory protection, things like that. So I know you're all dying to see a couple pictures of the inside of the building, so that's where I'm going to go on to next. So the former Target store has now been turned into a nuclear training center. So yes, we did paint the front of the building green, and we painted the red balls to match our company colors. And I know there was a lot of chitter chat on the Bowmanville Facebook groups about what was going in when it started going green before we put the label on the front of the building. But so this is from October 2020. Pretty sad when we moved in. It was kind of dark and not really too much in there. it was bare bones and almost nothing left in the building. So this is really what it looks like when we moved in October. Okay. And this is the back receiving area. So Nuclear Training Center, once we set up, we started onboarding in the last week of November. We built 8 classrooms. We have 2 auditoriums that both hold 60 people. We have a separate lunchroom that holds 40. We have a waiting area for people who have completed training and are ready to transition to site that holds about 120 people. We have 3 hands-on training areas, 3 office areas, and we still have 20,000 square feet of space we haven't used. So there's lots and lots of space here. Our grand opening was Friday, November 28th. And this is now what it looks like inside. So because we had a short window between when we got keys to the building and when we started training, we actually went with a modular walls because it was a very short period of time that we had to set it up, and we didn't have a lot of time and abilities and resources for construction. So we went with sort of office cubicle walls, but it worked out pretty well for the most part. So this is one of our classrooms. You can see we have lots of space, lunchroom, waiting area. There's lots of space for physical distancing. Okay, we have lots of room to set up different training areas where we can set up simulators. This is our CBT area. You can see all the tablets on the desks. Okay, this is our first aid classroom. And there's, when I started taking pictures for the slideshow, we only had a couple courses left before the guys transitioned to site. So this is our first aid class. You can see everybody's nice and spaced out. This is our RPPE area, so our radiological personal protective equipment. This is where people would learn how to properly don and doff their plastic suits and how to enter and exit a rubber area. So rubber area is basically where it's a barrier that sort of contains, on that side it would be possibly contaminated, and then you want to make sure that you change out of everything before you come out of it. So we have this simulator actually set up that is exactly how it would be in the plant. We have a hand and foot monitor. We have the radiological signs, picture of the airlock. This is a full body monitor that you would step in to transition between zones in the plant. Just a couple more pictures. So it's a very practical application where people aren't just looking at pictures of it on a computer or reading about it. They actually get to physically go and do this before they go into the plant. So it's very beneficial to have this kind of practical activity to do. This is our auditorium that holds 60. So this is where we onboard our people, first day in. This is where they come in and sit and kind of get the overview of everything that's going on. This is our fire simulator. So you can see the fire extinguisher is attached on the screen. So what happens is it turns on actually a big video of a fire, and then there's sensors on the side of the screen. So this fire extinguisher, you're actually able to do the full motions of sweeping back and forth and put the fire out, which is really, really interesting. So, normally we would go to Wesleyville and may or may not be able to actually put a fire out, but for our students being in the building, it's very practical for them. Here's one of our classes going on. You can see we got lots of space for everybody. Some hoisting and rigging equipment. This is our setup for our hoisting and rigging practical application. So what the guys have to do is they have to rig up this table and sort of move it around in the area. This is our fit testing lab, where we would do fit tests on people for respirators, so that before they go to the plant, they're able to find which size works for them and make sure that they get a good fit on it for safety. This is the view exactly from my desk, and there's what it looks like before. So yeah, a little bit different. And what's next? We have a couple outages coming up, Pickering and Darlington. So we're pretty well going to be onboarding straight through, alternating Pickering and Darlington, anywhere between 50, 80 to 250 people coming back through the doors. We have a little bit of a lull between now and May, but after that, it's going to be full ramped up. So between November 30th and February the 4th, we actually brought in 350 people, hired them, trained them, got them all ready to go to site, and we have sent them to site, and they are now currently working on the outage. So it's for a first time around, it was pretty efficient, and we're looking forward to staying in the area. One thing to note too is that a lot of our workers, our transient workers, a lot of them are what we call travel cards. So they come from all over Ontario, Canada, and they end up renting, for the time that they're here, they end up renting a place here, and they live locally for 2-3 months while they're here, which is awesome. So it's good news for Bowmanville. It's good for definitely for the business aspect of it. And that's all I got. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Absolutely. Christine, that was really interesting. You're helping solve a mystery that people have been trying to figure out on Facebook for months now. What's going on at the old Target shop, right? And everyone's got their theories, and then no one pays attention to the answers, and they keep asking. But that's really interesting. I really like the fire extinguisher simulator.
Oh, it's neat.
Do we have any questions for Christine? Just put your hand up. I've muted a few of you, just so you know. Chris.
I have a question. Christine, this is Chris Christodoulou here. I actually used to work for OPG at Darlington and Pickering a few years ago. This is obviously a very specialized field of work. When you bring in these people, which are transient, obviously, do you try to get people that have previously worked at OPG and have some experience, or do you don't care whether it's completely new people because you're going to train them, or do you care about their experience?
So obviously we want people with experience who have worked for OPG, whether it's for us or another contractor. But unfortunately, we don't get a lot of pick and choose. The way that the union halls hire, they have their own list. So what we do is like we call and say, you know, we need 10 pipe fitters. So then we have to go by their list, right? So depending on what the union contract is, whether you can name hire people or you just have to take people up the list. So obviously we prefer to take people. Now, you have to have a security clearance done before you can even be eligible for hire. So if we can name hire people, we try to get people who aren't new to nuclear, but we do end up with on every hire, we end up about 30% people who have never been here before, that we're spending the full weeks and going through all the training and everything. But we're confident that our processes are good enough to sort of bring in even new to nuclear workers end up going to the field with enough knowledge to work safely and get the job done right.
Excellent. Fred's hand was next, and then Wayne. Fred, you're muted.
Buttons. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, Christine, you mentioned Wesleyville. What are the future plans for Wesleyville, or is it just going to be I thought it would be a training center.
So I can't confirm anything with Wesleyville. I know that the emergency services sort of have their offices are out there, and we used to go there for the fire simulator before we had the training here. I'm not sure what the plans are for the building. I can't answer, unfortunately. That was one of the locations that we actually looked at when we were looking for properties for the training center, but it wasn't a viable option for us. So I'm not sure what OPG's plans are for the building.
Okay, thank you.
Wayne.
Yes, Christine, it's Wayne here. I was just wondering, with the number of people congregated in the training center, like, do you have to get special permission or some approval process to be able to accommodate that number of people with the virus and everything?
So because we're not open to the public, we run just like any office at any building would. So we had a COVID safety plan. Black and MacDonald developed one for every single office. So for our Osborne office, our Tiverton office, this building has one. So it would just be like any normal business. Because we're not open to the public, we're not under a capacity limit. I think our capacity for our one office is 50%. But here, because we have 100,000 square feet and we're spaced out so far, when they come and did the assessment, and we've had COVID bylaw in a couple times, and they're very happy with how we're actually operating our training center, because we have tons and tons of room here, which is good.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Joe.
Yeah, you came in, this building was just an empty shell. A lot of us remember it as a Zellers. What's it been like to sort of move in there and get geared up so quickly and see the thing actually up and running and people actually going to work, helping to keep the lights on? I mean, what's it been like to be part of this process, starting from scratch to where it is now?
So for me, it's been amazing because I've been with the company for 8 years, and we have struggled every single outage for so long trying to, corral all the workers. Like, think about, where did 350 people go before? We were spread out. We were sort of, squatting in offices on site, and, we don't have offices on site. We have, trailers, just like construction trailers. So there's not a lot of room. We have people, crowding lunchrooms and that kind of thing. So to watch this finally be able to get off the ground, where we have somewhere where all of our workers can be together and stay together, and train together and be trained by their own people, has just been amazing and such a great experience. And, the fact that we got it, from October to the end of November, we had basically, 30 days to get everything up, get walls in, get furniture, get, all the technology that we needed, everything in those 30 days. It was amazing to see it all come together. And I'm just so happy that we have a training center. It's amazing. And when this refurbishment is done, and you say there are a couple that are going to be rolling after that, is this going to, what's the future of this training center? I mean, is it just going to shut down and become a store at some point, or you have long-term plans for it? So I'm thinking that we have long-term plans for it, because with Darlington refurbing all of the units, on top of, there's always outages, because it's a Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission's mandate that every rolling through every unit needs to be shut down to do maintenance on it, just to meet all the guidelines and make sure everything's okay. So you go through each unit 4, unit 3, unit 2, unit 1, and then it goes back to unit 4. So every year there's another outage. There's always going to be maintenance work to do, even after the units are refurbed. So not just Black and MacDonald, we're hoping that we can, turn the training center into access for all of our vendor partners as well. So ES Fox and GE and everyone else who comes through, we're hoping that we can sort of all work together, because it's all the same workers, it's the same union trades. I can go work for ES Fox because I'm, out of the Bowmanville Plumbers local, right? So it's all the same people coming through. It's all of our brothers and sisters. So I'm hoping that the training center can kind of become a little bit bigger than it is. So we're not planning on just using the building and then shutting down next year. Like, we want to carry through and make this a permanent sort of institution in Bowmanville.
I saw Lyle's hand up, and then I think Don. And
I'm okay, Steve. It's okay.
Okay.
Actually,
Bye.
Joe's second question was my question.
Okay.
What's the planned future of the training center?
Okay. Wayne.
Christine, with the modular nuclear reactor activity that is, I guess, going to be taking place, and any impact that would have locally, would that present an opportunity for the training center to train all these people?
Likely it would. So any work that Black MacDonald is awarded on contract basis from OPG, we would be bringing our people in the same way that we do for outages. We would bring in people for project work, hire them on, train them up, and then send them off to site to perform the work that's required. So any new work that OPG awards Black MacDonald, people will be coming through this training center.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
And time for one more, Chris.
Christine, because of the nature of the work, you have to bring in people weeks and maybe months ahead of time and train them and do all that work before they actually get on the plant. How do you handle that in terms of cost? Does OPG, I presume OPG contracts compensate you for that, or how does that work?
Yeah, so when we first pitched the idea of the training center to OPG, it was through maintenance contracts, and we kind of looked at it like, well, we need 350 people regardless because of the work that we're going to do in the outage. So either we hire them in August and hire 11 people a week from August, to February, or we kind of compact it into this large training center. So we ended up hiring 60 people a week starting November 30th. So the cost for this time around, was OPG had sort of, we are working it into our future bids for the outage. So when we bid on the work that we want to do in the outage and OPG will award it to us, we're including the training center in those costs. Does that answer your question, Chris?
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Christine. This was really informative. I quite enjoyed it. And like I said, you answered questions. I too have worked for Black and MacDonald on and off a few times. I built disaster recovery plans and strategies, and I moved your data center once, but completely departed from the training scenario. So listen, we really appreciate you taking time. You're always welcome back to the Rotary Club of Bowmanville. If you got any new updates, reach out to Joe or and let us know if there's something exciting going on. We'd love to hear it.
Sure, sounds good.
You're more than welcome to stay. But there's something I should note. We're renewing a tradition of kind of thanking our speakers with a donation to a separate cause. So in lieu of us giving you something, we're funding a mental health wellness program that's student-led at Bowmanville High School. And part of what they're doing is creating care kits for students that are struggling. Things that'll just kind of help put a smile on their face and maybe help them get through it. So you taking time out of your schedule helped us do that. So thank you.
That sounds great. Thanks, Steve.
Have a lovely day today. You're welcome to stay, but I know you're busy. So
I'm gonna pop off because I got a couple things to take care of. But thank you so much for inviting me. It was nice to meet all of you and see you
Thanks
guys.
ever so much, Christine.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Christine.
Appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Okay, do we have any happy bucks, folks? No one's happy? Am I just missing the hands? Steve Code.
Sure.
You're muted, Steve. There you go.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for the welcome back. I'd been away for a couple of weeks, just a little bit of busy time for personal reasons, of course, but this morning I just wanted to mention the heartfelt warmth that we got from not only friends, family, but friends and family of the Rotary Club. And thank you so much for the flowers. These things don't go unnoticed. They fill the heart when the heart is a little bit broken. And I just wanted to mention that Debbie and I send a heartfelt thank you to everybody on this club and everybody that reached out, either by phone, by text, by email. So that was my happy buck, because some people move on to a better place after a little while, and they're still with us too. So thanks so much, guys and girls. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to be part of this club.
Cheers, Steve. Cheers.
Cheers.
Do we have another one here?
Yeah, I have one.
Chris. Yep, go ahead, Chris.
A few days ago, we were in Walmart doing some shopping, and we actually ran across Steve Code, who was shopping. He was doing his Rotary shopping for a couple of people, and the line was busy, very busy. So we had a lot of time on our hands. So we had a long chat, and I hadn't seen or heard from Steve for quite a while. So it was nice to catch up. Thank you, Steve.
Great. Okay. I don't see any other hands up. So we will move on. We have another edition of Know Your Rotarian. This week we have Don Gleed and Leah Bourgeois that are going to tell us a little bit about each other. So Don and Leah, over to you. It's your show.
Okay, thanks. Don, I'm not sure. Do you want to jump in first, or do you want me to start?
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. I had the pleasure of chatting with Dawn and being fairly new to Rotary. I thought it was a great opportunity just to get to know a fellow Rotarian. So just to share a little bit about Dawn, Dawn was born and raised in Scarborough, Ontario. He's the second eldest child in his family, having 2 brothers and 1 sister. Dawn is married to his lovely wife, Sherry, and they live in Pickering. They have 3 children, 2 sons, Daryl and Matthew, and their daughter, Devin. They also have 2 granddogs. Don's worked in the automotive industry his entire life. In fact, he broke the mold, so to speak, when he chose not to follow his family in the insurance business. As most of you all know, Don is the owner and president of the Clarington Toyota dealership here in town. However, prior to opening the Toyota dealership, he owned and operated a Ford dealership in Scarborough, which he sold in 2002. He then officially opened the first ever Toyota dealership here in Clarington in 2004. And despite being a GM town, Don felt the community welcomed he and his team with open arms. Don loves his job, and when I asked him about possibly retiring in the future, he said he doesn't actually see himself fully retiring, just slowing down a bit. He and Sherry enjoy spending time at their cottage throughout the year, which is located just north of Buckhorn. They love boating and spending time entertaining friends and family, and are very much looking forward to getting back to that when things return to normal. They also love traveling abroad and hope to return to Europe to tour the Amalfi Coast as one of their post-COVID destinations. Don classes himself as a foodie, and he loves trying all kinds of foods. He doesn't have one particular favorite type. He says he'll eat anything and try anything. So Don joined the club, the Rotary Club, 16 years ago after Rotarian Bob Stevens walked into Don's work and invited him to a meeting. Don was quite familiar with the Rotary Club as his father and brother were also involved in Rotary clubs. So he thought he would give it a try. So he's very much enjoyed his time with the club, and he's developed some wonderful friendships over the years. He's been involved in many committees and held various positions, including past president. And although he appreciates the ability to meet virtually on a weekly basis, he is very much looking forward to getting back to in-person meetings and events. And particularly one of his favorite events he helped support is the Rib Fest over the years. So Don, I'm sure I may have left some things out, but hopefully I covered it in a nutshell.
Well, I yesterday. Leah is married to Matt, and Leah, of course, works in corporate relations at OPG, and her husband Matthew is a director operator at a utilities firm in Whitby. And although she grew up in Curtis, she moved to Belleville to study at Loyalist College, where she met Matthew, and she said that they could feel the electricity as soon as they met. You see what I did there? No, you guys too early?
Oh, got it.
Anyway, got it?
Except we're losing Don.
You're really slow, Fred.
There you
They
go.
have two. Pardon?
No, we got you now.
You lose? Okay. They have two children, Curtis and Ella. Curtis is 16, Ella's 14. They sound like they're a very active family. Both the kids are very involved in sports. Curtis, as I said, turned 16 just recently, and he got his G1. And in my world, we call that a prospect. Again, no laughter. This is very early for you guys.
We're all muted, Don. We're all muted. We're laughing.
Here. I don't see you laughing.
I'll do the Ed McMahon. I'll do the Ed McMahon laugh. Go ahead, Don.
Leah and Matt are actually in the process of looking for a cottage themselves. They're looking to acquire a place east, a little bit east, a little bit north of like it right now. It's a challenge to find property, and because it's certainly cottaging the 12 or 24 months, especially because of COVID. Working from home, of course, through COVID, and the kids have been studying at home. But it sounds like theirs is a good news story. They all respect each other's space. It's worked out very, very well for them. She actually herself in an empty house.
Did we lose Don altogether?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
think he's
goodness.
gone, yeah.
Well, listen, even if he doesn't join back, we learned something about you, Leah, and that was good.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Sounds like Don's electricity wasn't so great.
Yeah. Is
Okay,
Don at
am I
your
back
place?
now?
Even? All right. Oh, there you are. You're back.
He's not drinking,
No,
is he?
he's not at my house.
What's that?
No.
We got you. We lost you for a moment, Don. You're back though.
I don't know where I don't know where I off, but suffice to say that she's enjoyed the time she had with kids at home. She knows that because they're getting older and they'll be off on soon. So it was for some people it wasn't maybe a great experience, but for the bourgeois it was a great experience. So they're a family that loves to ski, and Matthew's just taken up snowmobiling recently. So I know she's excited to be part of the Rotary Club of Bowmanville and looking forward to getting together and meeting everybody in person. I explained to her that as enjoyable as these meetings are, getting together for breakfast is a hell of a lot more fun. And the activities we do are very special. So she's excited about that. And again, it was a real pleasure to talk to you, and I look forward to meeting in person.
Fantastic. Well
Thanks,
done, guys.
Don.
I really like this segment.
Oh, and by the way, one more thing. They live on a horse right next to the old Anion house.
Yes,
place. And interesting. So there's a little.
And Leah's parents are my neighbors, so it's all very close. It's great.
I think Don should be in that commercial, where the people are trying to, they're getting the interrupted internet.
Yep.
Can't
Don, it
remember.
might be time for a call to
Is that
Rogers.
better?
I don't understand your humor, Mike.
Don, you keep on going in and out.
All right.
It's a short
So,
network.
With that,
Hey, Gord, you're looking very Victor Borgia.
Thanks. I think Don's presentation was kind of like the hilarious House of Frankenstein, if that.
Dr. Petwet.
all right. So thanks very much, Leah and Don. Over to Pauline with a community report.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to talk about a life-changing thing that happened to me 7 years ago. And when you think about your working life, and Rotary too, we wear a badge and it says classification. And when you're in your working life, if you're in any kind of social environment, you get talking to somebody and one of the first things you want to know is, what do they do? Well, 13 years ago, that changed for me because after 50 years of work, I decided to retire. And I made another decision at the same time. I like to say I accidentally moved to Wilmot Creek. And when you live in Wilmot Creek, you meet hundreds of lovely people. And you never really know what they were. What you know is who they are and where they came from. And I want to talk to you today about our community of Wilmot Creek. And if you can let me share the screen, Steve, I'll just do a little presentation. Okay, can you see that? Nope, what did I do, Johnny? I've got it up here, wait a minute.
Let's see where you are.
I just.
Back to here
There it is.
in a minute.
That one. Okay.
And the one you want is that one. Share. You want to on to.
Yeah,
There you
it
go.
was another life-changing decision. Very helpful one.
Not working. No, it is.
Here we go. So this is our community here. And you can see it's quite an expanse, Wilmot Creek. In the middle here is the Bennett Road Bridge. This is the older section, and this is the last build, phase 8 that was, I believe, phase 8. And we have over 1,000 homes in here and nearly 1,600 residents. It's a beautiful place to stay. It's picturesque, as you can see. There's lovely walks all through the community. But the most important thing for me is the community. And Wilmot Creek, what it is, it's an adult lifestyle community of approximately 1,000 homes, 1,600 residents. 30% of our residents here are singles. And did you know that 10% of the Bowmanville Rotary membership live in Wilmot Creek? And we also have a past DG, Ted Morrison, who's a resident of Wilmot Creek. Misconceptions. Age restriction. There's none. You don't have to be old to live in Wilmot Creek. It's a seniors retirement residence. No, it's not. Wilmot Creek is independent living, and many of our residents are still in the workforce. Isn't that right, Steve? No kids are allowed. That's wrong too. Our lease agreement is for a maximum of 2 persons in a household, and there are 1 or 2 with kids living in Wilmot Creek. There's also some exceptions to the lease. I know of a couple of sets of grandparents that have ended up bringing up a grandchild. So there's 1 or 2 children in Wilmot Creek. Why Wilmot Creek? Well, it was an opportunity to downsize and simplify life. It's a safe community. We're a gated community, and neighbors really look out for one another. You get to know your neighbors. You get to own your home, but you rent the land. What does that mean? You don't pay municipal property taxes. You have no water bills, and you have snow removal in the wintertime. It's a resort-like facility in a beautiful setting. We have 2 heated outdoor swimming pools with a sun deck, indoor hot tubs and sauna. We have a gym. We have a billiard hall. We have a darts hall. We have shuffleboard courts, tennis and pickleball courts. We have lawn bowling. We have a baseball diamond. We have a woodworking shop. We have gardening allotments, an executive golf course, and amazing walking trails. And here's some of the pictures of around the creek. This is one of my favorite places, is the dart room. The entertainment committee, that's been my baby for the past 4 years. I'm the entertainment director, and work with a great bunch of people, and we have monthly events, sometimes a couple of times a month, and we have a fabulous Canada Day event, and there's some pictures there of us with Elvis and Canada Day, and me talking to the haggis at a burn supper, and we have a free beer cart. So this is the Crazy Creeker beer cart, and what we do is we drive around and we give free beer, but it's not exactly free. We're looking for donations, and the donations go to the food bank. And last year on one day, we raised nearly $2,000 giving away free beer. This is our amazing auditorium. It has a capacity to hold 700 people, has a fabulous stage and sound booth and lighting. We have hundreds of group activities that happen in our wheelhouse, everything from fitness classes. We have crafts, bingo, and general human interest courses. What I like best is living in an amazing community of like-minded people, caring neighbors, and awesome opportunities to fill your day and enjoy life in a beautiful community. It's a very generous community. In the past year, through many events, over $30,000 has been contributed to local organizations, including the Clarington Food Bank, Hearth Place Cancer Support, Heart and Stroke Foundation, the Lions Club, and of course the Rotary Club when we did the bottle drive, and the Salvation Army. And my favorite spot is golf on the doorstep. And this slide here shows the extent of the golf course. The first 4 holes are right along the lake, and then you go through the community for the rest of the course. And that is it. That's life at Wilmot. I like to call it our little secret, and was the best move I ever made.
Thank you, Pauline. You cleared up a couple of misconceptions there that had hung around about Wilmot.
Yeah, Wrinkle City, Viagra on the lake, God's little waiting room. All those.
I have a question, Pauline.
You don't say that here, Pauline.
Not anymore.
Chris, time for a quick question.
Yeah, quick question. You've solved that really well. You should be a representative spokesman for Wilmot Creek selling
No, I don't want too
properties.
many people here.
Is this place still growing? Are they still building, or is it done now?
They're looking to put another phase in, but it's going to be completely independent. It's not going to be part of the existing Wilmot Creek. Apparently the plans are for just south of the 401 in what I think is a really strange plot of land. It's between the 401 and the railway tracks, and there's overhead hydro pylons. So anyway, they seem to think that they'll be able to put another community in there.
Okay.
Joe?
Yeah, what are the rules in terms of like, could you add a room, or could you like decorate your house with, like 50 pumpkins? Like, are there there rules in terms of what you can do and what you can't do in the community?
There's certain rules because you don't own the land. If you're going to do an extension on your house, you have to submit the plans and get them approved. And then most of the time, I would say they are approved, unless they're huge or they're going to be moving over to a neighbor's property. But yeah, most people here have done some kind of alterations to their house, put on huge decks. Some people put on sunrooms. So there really isn't an issue there. Decorate your house, do what you like. In fact, it's encouraged. We have contests for every major holiday. If you decorate your house, you'll win some prizes. So Canada Day, it's a worthwhile having a drive through our community, because I don't think there's another part of Clarington that's so patriotic as Wilmot Creek. The decor for Canada Day is absolutely incredible.
Can you have chickens?
No. You're not allowed to fence in your yard.
I have one quick question. You say you rent the land.
Yes.
How long is your lease, and who owns the land?
The land is owned by Caprit, and you have a 20-year lease when you buy, which is renewable.
I think we all rent our land. Stop paying your taxes and find out who owns your land.
You got it. You got it.
One other thing to add, Pauline, they flip about, of the 1,000 homes a year, about 10% every year change hands.
Yeah.
About 100 people a year leave and come in.
You have to sell. Can you sell it yourself, or do you have to go through the corporation if you want to sell?
You can sell yourself. You can use a realtor. You can use the corporation. Whatever.
Yeah, talk to Doug Sears.
Yeah.
Houses here sell in a matter of 24 hours.
Days, yeah.
And people have often said to me, why would you buy a house but not own the land? Well, one of the great advantages of that is you're buying your house for probably 100,000 or more less than what you would if you had to buy the land as well. So, and why own the land when you don't have to be responsible for it?
Do they look after a place if you go south for a few months?
No, there is one part of Wilmot Creek that they actually maintain the outdoors, do your gardens, cut your grass, and that's called the villas. up in what we affectionately call the Hamptons. But most homeowners look after their own gardening and property like that. And if you go away for a holiday, it's just like the same as any house. You have to have someone come in and check it.
Or pay somebody like myself to do it for them.
Yes,
There you go.
Steve does that.
Well, thank you very much, Pauline. That was great. Good questions too. We're getting close to the bottom of the hour here. So
And when you sign the purchase agreement, who referred you?
okay, there you go. There you go. All right. So a few announcements. We have a couple of good meetings coming up next week. Timing is going to be interesting because we're starting to open up here in Durham region. We're going to have Dr. Robert Kyle as our guest. So a good chance to learn about what reopening means. And I'm sure there'll be lots of questions. I think Joe is going to free up a few more minutes of time for us. The following week is an evening meeting. So on February 25th, Thursday, February 25th, we're meeting at 7 o'clock at night, and it's going to be trivia focused. All right, tomorrow night, we have a board meeting. If anyone's interested in joining the board meeting, let me know and I'll send you the details. To the board members on the call, I haven't got the agenda out. It'll happen later today. Sorry about that. We had last week, we announced that we were looking for everyday heroes of the pandemic to award, to grant Paul Harris fellows to, not award, right, Gord? We had great response, and last night the Paul Harris Fellow Committee met, and we have a full slate, actually, of 13 community members that we're going to recognize with Paul Harris Fellows. And that's going to happen on March 25th, the March evening meeting. Last night, we also had a fireside chat, I think probably the first of several, hosted by Pauline, and it went over very well. That was with a few new members. So next time it comes out, we'll make sure we get a new slate of new members on it, because I think it was pretty valuable for everyone who joined. And then finally, the final announcement is Valentine's Day dinner is happening. We've sold, as of right now, 67 meals. So Chris has been working quite hard on that with his team. He's going to be reaching out in the next day or so to everyone that put their hand up to volunteer to help us either deliver or hand out meals. So expect an email from Chris Zelasco on that. And if you've ordered a meal, you may be wondering what exactly do I do to pick up the meal. I'm going to be sending out an email to everyone with those instructions. Okay. And with that, over to Amy for our quote of the week.
Can you hear me?
We
First
can.
of all.
Yep.
Oh, well, there you go. So the quote this week is from Jason Versey. Our ultimate purpose in life lies in selfless service to others. Selflessly giving of ourselves to our spouses, our children, our friends, our community, our employers, and our customers unlocks a treasure chest of priceless gifts for both the recipient and you. Let's go the extra mile in all we do this week and see what riches we can discover.
Thank you, Amy. That was great. Now, if there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, in the things that we say and we do, remember our four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And with that, have yourselves a fantastic week and happy Valentine's Day, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, bye.